Good morning. Thank you for being here. When someone dials 911, they're not thinking about supply chains, procurement contracts, or corporate mergers. They're thinking about one thing, hoping that help is on the way. But right now, across San Diego County, fire departments are being forced to wait months and sometimes years for the fire engines and equipment that they need to save lives. And the reason is sadly simple: corporate greed. I spoke with a fire chief just last week. He told me he has fire engines with a 20-year lifespan, now pushing 22 years. And they're still at least 2 more years out from receiving a replacement because of supply chain delays. He said it's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. Service delivery will suffer. You cannot fight 2025 fires with 2005 engines. And the worst part, we don't have another option. A handful of massive corporations now dominate the industry, buying out competitors, setting the timelines, hiking up prices, and leaving local governments scrambling. What was once a healthy market has become a rigged game, with public safety stuck in the backlog. So today, I'm announcing a proposal to fight back, because fire trucks should not be on back order when lives are on the line. And first responders should not have to fight corporate monopolies just to do their jobs. This is not just a San Diego County problem. Fire departments from Seattle to Houston to Atlanta are all feeling the squeeze. But here in San Diego County, the consequences are especially urgent. Our small and rural departments are hard hit, some waiting 2, 3, and even 4 years to get the equipment that they have already ordered, and then paying inflated prices for lower quality. This corporate bottleneck is hurting emergency room responses across the board. Departments are being forced to rely on aging fire engines that have long surpassed their recommended lifespan. Vehicles that break down more frequently, cost more to maintain, and put firefighters and the public at risk. So to speak more about how this issue is playing out at the national level, I'm honored to introduce Chief Bernie Malloy, representing the California Fire Service Leadership Alliance and the California Fire Chiefs Association. Chief Malloy has been a leading voice pushing for greater oversight and reform of this industry. Chief.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Bernie Malloy. I'm speaking today on behalf of the California Fire Chiefs Association, where I am the president-elect. And we're speaking for the California Fire Service Leadership Alliance. This alliance is made up by the California Fire Chiefs Association, the League of California Cities Fire Chiefs Department, Fire Districts Association of California, California Tribal Fire Chiefs Association, California Contract County Fire Chiefs Association, California Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Association, and California Volunteer and Combination Fire Chiefs Association, meaning that this is a very important matter to all of the fire service leadership here in California. Across California, and really the nation, fire departments are in a fleet crisis. This issue, which we thought would resolve as we emerge from the COVID era, has only escalated. Currently, we're seeing several issues. The first is exponential price increases, where the average fire engine is now more than $1 million to purchase, and the average truck company is over $2 million to purchase. This is nearly double what they were less than a decade ago. Next is prolonged delivery times. We used to order a fire engine and we would have it within about a year. Now we're seeing times over 4 years to take delivery on a fire apparatus. This leads to having to make our reserve fleet last a lot longer than we had previously planned. And that's degrading our fleet readiness that we have for all of our fire departments. And we have seen that consolidation is having an impact on this. Make no mistake, this issue is having a major impact on the critical infrastructure of the fire service, which is our fleet. Our personnel stand ready to do their jobs, but we're having trouble arranging the apparatus in a timely fashion to meet the needs to serve our community. So we're asking our public leaders to partner with us. Support whatever you can do in order to make it easier for us to purchase apparatus for our departments to serve the public. This is not an attack on manufacturers. We want to work closely with our apparatus manufacturers to ensure we have the best equipment available to serve the public at their time of need. We want to thank Supervisor Lawson-Remer for taking the time and putting this together.
Thank you, Chief Malloy. So let's talk a little bit about what this means here in San Diego. These choices by the manufacturers are forcing some departments to patch together aging engines just to stay operational. Crews are stretched thin, working with outdated equipment and struggling to meet the demands of emergency response. This is a threat to public safety, plain and simple. San Diego County is one of the most fire-prone regions in California. In some areas, more than 80% of our land is classified as high or very high wildfire risk. Our fire protection districts cannot afford years-long delays and inflated costs driven by corporate monopolies. Fires are a fact of life here, but letting a handful of Wall Street investors profit off that reality is unconscionable. We have a responsibility to step up, to step in, to hold these companies accountable and protect our communities. So to speak to our local realities, I'd like to invite up here Chief Dave McQuaid, President of the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association, to talk a little bit about how fire departments across San Diego County are struggling with this reality.
Perfect, thank you. Good morning. My name is Dave McQuaid, President of the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association. And on behalf of the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association, representing 36 individual fire agencies, we appreciate and support Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer's proposal to fight corporate monopolies that undermine the fire protection. We stand unified with the members of the California Fire Service Leadership Alliance, as mentioned before with Chief Malloy. Our collective concern is a significant and growing crisis in the fire apparatus manufacturing and supply chain. Fire agencies, both here locally and nationally, have been held under hostage over the years by the actions of the fire apparatus manufacturers and under private equity ownership. Case in point, fire agencies are facing extended delays in receiving critical fire apparatus. The time between ordering and to getting final delivery of an apparatus was roughly about 14 to 18 months. The time frame today extended to 3 to 4 years, sometimes even longer. We're also being impacted by inflated pricing of our fire apparatus, as mentioned before. Fire agencies also encounter surcharges for materials and labor. Agencies must then pay these fees to keep the apparatus they ordered or suffer the consequence of losing it to someone else who can be affordable to that engine. There's also a notable reduction in quality control for manufacturing. This reduction has led to premature maintenance issues that involve mechanical, electrical, chassis, body, and sometimes suspension issues. These issues impact agency budgets and the time the apparatus is in the maintenance or repair shop and not in service for emergency response. These items cause continuous strains on fire agencies, large and small. How can a fire agency accurately plan and budget to replace their aging frontline apparatus and yet maintain the longevity of their reserve fleet of their fire apparatus? The fire service needs and requires fire apparatus to meet safety, high safety standards, and reliability to carry out the mission of emergency response. The fire service and the communities that we serve need manufacturers of fire apparatus to take the critical changes and collaborate with the fire service to meet this mission of emergency response. We thank Tara Lawson-Remer, our supervisor, for creating this proposal and have our support from the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief McQuaid. So we've heard about supply chains and industry consolidation, but now let's talk about what this looks like when the alarm bell rings and a fire crew has to respond with outdated or unreliable equipment. Our firefighters are being asked to save lives using engines that are breaking down more often, that lack the latest safety features, and that were not designed to meet the scale of today's emergencies. And it's not just an equipment issue. It's a risk to every firefighter and every family in harm's way. To share more about the reality on the front lines, I would like to welcome Tim Ross, a fire apparatus engineer and paramedic and a member of CAL FIRE Local 2881. Tim?
My name is Timothy Ross. I'm representing San Diego County Firefighters Local 2881. I work for one of the largest fire departments in San Diego and overall one of the largest fire departments in the nation. This initiative is regarding fire engines. it is my job to drive the fire engine. When when public is having an emergency, when you call 911, whether it's your baby having their first asthma attack at preschool, your father having a heart attack while mowing the lawn, seconds matter and moments are critical. Unfortunately, the reality that I face out in the field is antiquated and old equipment. I have fire engines that are older than the firefighters that are working on them. I have some fire engines that don't even have air conditioning. In places like Borrego Springs, places like our local deserts, it's not just inconvenient, it's a safety issue. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a fire 7 days ago on Monday, 1 week. Small vegetation fire in the desert. I would go to give my crew their water to fight the fire, and due to old equipment, an outdated engine, and years of hard water, junk, and crunk in the pump, I accidentally lost 20% of my water on the fire and went down into the ground. That's 20% less firefighting capability and doubles the safety factor for my firefighters. Rigs weren't built for today's wildfires. Historically, we were able to work on the vehicles and the engines in the wintertime. January proved that wintertime is not a break anymore, and we need to be fighting fires at all times. We're grateful for leaders like Tara Lawson-Remer for fighting for this. San Diego County Firefighters Local 281 stands in agreement with Tara Lawson-Remer, and we appreciate her support, other leaders' support, and the support of the public. Thank you.
So thank you, Tim, and thank you to all the firefighters and fire chiefs standing with us today. At tomorrow's Board of Supervisors meeting, I'm introducing a proposal for the county to pursue legal and advocacy pathways to challenge these corporate monopolies that are inflating fire apparatus costs and causing dangerous delays. This includes exploring partnerships with organizations like the California Fire Service Leadership Alliance and evaluating potential legal actions to hold these corporations accountable. We're calling on state and federal leaders to wake up to this crisis and to help us break the corporate stranglehold on emergency response. No fire department should be at the mercy of a monopolized supply chain when lives are on the line. This crisis did not happen overnight, and it will not be fixed overnight. But San Diego County is not going to sit back and wait while our first responders are left stranded. We're standing up for firefighters, we're fighting corporate greed, and we're doing everything we can to protect public safety. So thank you all for being here today, and we're all now happy to take questions. Thanks.